Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Time for a mid-year check-in on the Michigan Wolverines, kind of answering some of the questions that we had for this program heading into the season. And these weren't questions of whether Michigan would be good. These were questions of what do we need to see from this Michigan team that is national championship caliber. I think we got some of these answers early on in the season. Kind of want to circle back and talk about what we've seen through the first half of this 2023 season. Now, before we get into it, just want to say thank you to you guys and especially the Michigan fans. Y'all know how much I have fun talking this Michigan program. Massive fan. The support from the Michigan fans has truly, it's been phenomenal. I love talking this team. You guys have been so supportive in the comment section. So if you do enjoy the content, you want to support the fellas, consider subscribing to the channel, but more importantly, would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this Michigan team halfway through the season. Without further ado, let's get into this. And the first question that we had specifically on the defensive side of the ball was this pass rush. And the narrative was we have a bunch of really quality guys that we can go to. Which of those guys are going to be stepping up and kind of really wrecking havoc on quarterbacks? The answer is all of them, right? Heading into the year, Braden McGregor, Derek Moore, Jalen Harrell, Josiah Stewart, all guys that we said could be stepping up for Michigan. The answer is all four of them have stepped up. They rotate a lot, and you take a look at their pass rush grade, specifically the win rate. All four of these guys are in the double-digit percentiles, and when you take a look at the numbers, Derek Moore registering a 21% pass rush win rate. Harrell, 20%. Josiah Stewart, 22.9%, and Braden McGregor at 15%. To kind of compare, like if you have above a 12%, that is a really quality pass rush win rate percentage. All four of these edge rushers are over 15%. Three of them are over 20%. I think the beauty of it is that all four of these guys can really get after the passer, and you're seeing them rotate, cycle in and out, staying fresh all season or all game and all season. And it's really making a difference. And you take a look at some of the teams that Michigan needs to beat to kind of achieve this goal of winning a national title, specifically Ohio State in the Big Ten. Where are they most vulnerable at? Like, yeah, they got really good wide receivers. Where can you stop this offense? It's rushing the passer, right? Kyle McCord, not nearly as mobile as some of the other quarterbacks like Justin Fields and CJ Stroud have been. And also, Ohio State had to go to the transfer portal to find a starting left tackle. If you were to ask me, and a lot of Ohio State fans that I've talked to, where do you think Ohio State is most vulnerable at? I really do think it's on that offensive line, specifically at that offensive tackle position for Michigan. You have to be absolutely thrilled with what you've seen from these pass rushers, specifically on the edge. But you look inside, and these guys are getting it done too. You take a look at some of the numbers from the inside. And again, you're talking about interior defensive linemen winning in the pass rush over 10% is phenomenal. Mason Graham at a 12.3, Kenneth Grant 11.4, and Chris Jenkins at a 12% pass rush win rate. Every single guy on this defensive line is getting it done, and you combine that with just getting a little bit more comfortable with these blitz packages that Jesse Minter's putting together. That's what I've been most happy about, and that's why it's the number one thing I wanted to talk about is this pass rush for Michigan. You take a look at other teams who've won national titles, specifically the Georgia Bulldogs, the last couple of years. Where does it start for them on the defense? It starts up front, and you're kind of seeing Michigan have kind of an elite defensive line, especially when it's getting after the pass. You take a look at how good they've been against the run, only allowing 3.1 yards per carry, also an elite number. The next thing I want to go to, and this was probably the biggest question that we had for Michigan heading into that 2023 season, was who's going to play opposite Will Johnson at the boundary cornerback spot? I think it's fair to say we have our answer. One, Josh Wallace has been phenomenal, but you're seeing Michigan rotate the personnel in the secondary, and it's been absolutely phenomenal, right? 55% completion percentage given up to opposing quarterbacks. Wide receivers are not creating separation. They're not hitting explosive plays on the secondary. Talk a little bit about what we've seen. Will Johnson, obviously heading into the season a little banged up. They're giving him giving him a little bit of a break. And when you see him come off the field or Josh Wallace come off the field, you're seeing Mikey Sandstrom play that boundary cornerback position and kicking McCarthy Page into that nickel. And then you have Keon Sabb and Rod Moore in the backfield or in the back end at the safety spots. I think what Jesse Minter and the coaching staff's goal here is they're looking at this personnel group in the secondary and saying, we got to find a way to get Keon Sabb, Makari Page, and Rod Moore all on the field and all playing significant snaps. And one of their answers is, okay, we got Mikey Sandstrom, one of the best nickel cornerbacks, but also can play outside on the boundary. We kick him out to boundary. You knock Makari Page in, who's been phenomenal, especially inside the tackle box, tackling and kind of showing up in run support. Michigan is a lot deeper than I think we thought in the back end. And you talk about like our biggest question mark is in the secondary. For the last 6 games, we've seen that answered in a big way. Now, I want to flip over to the offensive side of the ball again. The defensive numbers have been elite, right? 6.7 points per game. That's number 1 in the country. Controlling tempo, creating negative play, forcing turnovers, all things Michigan has done. Now, what was the biggest question we had for this Michigan offense in terms of really providing a national championship caliber offense? It's the explosive passing game. Right? We knew we could run the football. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, a really good offensive line. My biggest takeaway through the first half of the season is how explosive Michigan has been pushing the ball down the field. We saw glimpses of it against Purdue, against TCU, against Ohio State towards the tail end of the season. What I've been most happy with in terms of that explosive passing game is to start the season last year. I mean, it was a lot of kind of conservative plays with JJ McCarthy, throwing some out routes, not really pushing the ball down the field. This year, Michigan's averaging 9.9 yards per pass. That's top 10 in the country. So you talk about not only completing a lot of your passes, JJ McCarthy had a 77% completion percentage. You're also pushing the ball down the field and hitting those explosive plays through the passing game, using play action a little bit more. That's what I've been most proud of. And you're seeing Michigan do it in a lot of different ways, not only with air yards, using JJ's arm to push it downfield, but you're also dumping it off and getting guys in space in those shorter intermediate route trees and just letting them go to work after the catch. Cornelius Johnson averaging 20 yards per catch, really going to work after the catch. Roman Wilson as well. We know their game-breaking kind of athleticism and playmaking ability. Roman Wilson, particularly with his speed, you're starting to see that from Michigan, and that is absolutely massive in terms of if we need to win in a shootout caliber game. You're starting to have a little bit more confidence that JJ McCarthy and this Michigan offense can certainly do that. Now, number 3, this run game, and we knew the run game would be good, right? When you return that offensive line, you grab guys in the transfer portal like Michigan has done. We knew the run game would be good. Why I want to touch on it is it's a little bit more dynamic this year, right? We knew that the power run game, right? Pulling the guards, down blocks, that's going to be successful. It's been really good, especially the last 2 weeks. The offensive line, I mean, just winning at the line of scrimmage consistently. Zach Zinner, Trevor Keegan, Drake Nugent on the inside, just kind of reestablishing the line. It's dynamic because we're winning in multiple different ways in the run game as well. I think particularly with JJ McCarthy in that read option. JJ McCarthy last year, we knew he has the athleticism and the speed and the playmaking ability to make those kind of plays. He wasn't as comfortable as you see him this year. When it's time for him to keep it and make a play with his legs, he is more than willing to do so. And if he's one-on-one with the safety or linebacker in space pulling out of that read option, more times than not, he's making them miss. You're also seeing Michigan attack the perimeters a little bit more. So now we can run the read option. JJ McCarthy can keep it. We can just play bully ball, power football, and kind of run it between the tackles. But we also can kind of run it to the outside too. So this run game kind of morphing into a little bit more dynamic of a run game. And you have to shout out Kalel Mullings, kind of giving us that battering ram running back that we didn't really have last year in short yardage situations. I mean, Kalel Mullings, the former linebacker, 6'1", 240 pounds. I mean, Blake Corum, as good as he is, he ain't ever going to be 240 pounds. We got Kalel Mullings now running there really, really comfortable. He's looking like he's more comfortable running the football too. We tried to use him a little last year. You could tell he was a linebacker making that switch, and he wasn't that comfortable. This year, you got 3 running backs. We thought we had 2 running backs heading into the year. I'd say we have 3 running backs with Blake Corum, Donnie Edwards, and Kalel Mullings that all really can get it done in different kind of ways, right? Blake Corum, the all-purpose guy, Donovan Edwards, the space guy who is really good out of the backfield, and then Kalel Mullings. When it's time to play that hard hat bully ball football, he's the guy that Michigan, I think, is going to go to a little bit more to end the season, especially finishing out games. Now, number 5, and this is something that as I become a little bit more of a college football fan, following the sport closely the last couple of years, you don't really think about this, but it's so important, and that's depth, right? When you're trying to win a national championship, inevitably guys are going to get banged up and miss games. This is the deepest we've seen this Michigan team since I can remember. On both sides of the ball, starting with this offensive line, and you're seeing us get up in the second half and put in our offensive line too, pretty much. I mean, they don't skip a beat, right? You're looking at guys like Giovanni Elhadi, Andrew Gentry, Trente Jones, Miles Hinton now running with the twos. These are all guys that would start on most Power 5 teams across the country. And so when you're trying to win a national championship and you have to be at full strength in the end of November for that Ohio State game, win a Big Ten title, and then be healthy for the college football playoffs, you got to have depth. And this is a Michigan team that is as deep as we can see. And you talk about kind of the separating part. I think it's this Michigan football. I think it's their depth. And so when we get to the end of the season, guys are banged up. We have the ability to keep guys fresh, rotate guys in and out, kind of do some load management through this Big Ten schedule. I think we'll be playing our best football come the end of November and into the college football playoffs. And if you're Michigan and you look at your goals are winning a national title, that's what's most important. What I'm so excited for Michigan is all the stuff that we thought we have heading into the season. The question marks that we had, right? This pass rush and this secondary. I mean, those answers or those questions are being answered in a meaningful way through the first couple games of the season. Really excited about this program. I think all Michigan fans kind of feel something special brewing, right? The culture is really, really strong. JJ McCarthy coming into kind of that leader and that true like quarterback one role. If you're a Michigan fan, you got to be really excited. We got the Indiana preview coming a couple days from now. Appreciate the Michigan fans rocking with the boys again. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. But more importantly, let me know in the comment section how you guys are feeling about this Michigan team. Appreciate y'all, and we will talk to you guys later.